My life be like, yeah. My life be like, yeah.
Hey guys, Pops the Paladin here, and long time no see. I apologize. It's taken me quite a while to get a desktop computer. Hooray! Instead of my laptop that I've been using for only God knows how long, and it's a lot nicer to have a desktop to not only play, record, but do my video editing and not have this crazy lag and or just incredibly hot computer the entire time. So I apologize, it's been so long. It's about 6 weeks in the making, but I'm back and my videos are going to come at you rapid fire here very shortly. However, let's get into Mythic Garothi Worldbreaker. As a prop paladin, this fight is, and as a tank, this fight is identical for what you're going to do as a tank as it was for normal and heroic. The difference is, my recommendation is using Agrimar Stride, because on Mythic, if you get hit by a Fell Bombardment, you might live through the first, but you will not live through the second without a major cooldown. And why would you want to try to live through a second with a major cooldown? Because you're going to get blasted away anyways. So use Agrimar Stride, and what I recommend to do is use Agrimar Stride to run away and use your Divine Shield to run, or Divine Steed, I apologize, to run back to the boss. So that way you can taunt and your off-tank can run away. Because as soon as a tank is not in range, a melee will die due to the melee's or the boss's melee auto attack. So it's just kind of as easy as that. So there's only a couple differences here, and you're gonna see, you know, everything's just fine and dandy. It's all the same. When we go into the overloaded phase where we're killing the cannons, as opposed to normal and heroic level difficulty where the majority, if not everybody, kill the Annihilation cannon first or the Annihilator cannon first, you don't want to do that. You want to kill the Decimator cannon first. And the reason why you want to kill the Decimator cannon first is because it's going to cause a stun for the people who have Decimation, and it's going to put a little ticking dot on them, and after that, no big deal. So you use the ping pong strat that you typically use in heroic level difficulty, because normal, I mean, you don't really need to pay attention to it. Why you would not kill the Annihilator cannon is because you have to double soak the Annihilation that comes in, and you don't want to be doing that from the get-go of the fight. It hurts, one, and most of the time it's probably going to kill people, as they're not using cooldowns or they're rotating out, or somebody's going to miss one eventually and it's going to do super huge raid-wide damage, and it just sucks. So you really want that to be the last cannon that you kill for Mythic level difficulty. If you want to do it different on normal and heroic, so be it, whatever. Now, it's really important for your raid team to pick a designated reset point for after casting Eradication. I'll get to casting Eradication here in a second. But picking a reset point is really important for the Decimation ping pong, because it's always going to be happening the entire fight. It doesn't change, it's always the same thing as you go through. So what you're noticing here is through the ping pong strat, we always started at red and then we moved to blue and so on and so forth. Now after Decimation drops, and you see a Decimation on the screen right now, as soon as that circle goes away, I call for a spread. I loosely call for a spread, I guess, and that is to remind people I need to go soak Annihilation, because it does that raid-wide damage, and everybody needs to soak. There is no enrage timer here. If you've seen the video where that crazy dude decides to solo normal as either the Warlock or the Prop Paladin, and it takes him like 8.5 hours to do it, and there you go. There's no enrage timer, obviously, if that's happening. So during casting Eradication, which we're doing right now on the screen, you want to run away. On normal and heroic, you can stand in front of the boss and shield the righteous through it and be just fine. Maybe if you got scared, you would do Ardent Defender. But on Mythic, it hurts a heck of a lot more. So what you're going to do is, I Divine Steed away, so I'm as close to my Warlock portal as possible. We also have Shamans drop in Windrush Totem, so that way the entire raid group can get away. And I use that Warlock portal to port back to the boss, so I am one of the first people there, and as you see, we reset back at X again. And it's pretty much a win-win. Now in this particular fight, you see me run in Seraphim because, I mean, why not? I am using a high haste trinket, and I'm using Apocalypse Drive for the haste on top of it as well. I'm really trying to gain benefit out of my Agamar Stride. But on top of it, the thing that I despise about this fight is your tanking uptime is like 7 to 10 seconds, and then you have to run away. So, I mean, it kind of sucks. The only thing that you can benefit from that is when you use Blessing the Spell Warding or Divine Shield. Now, when I use my Blessing the Spell Warding, I will use it on the first Fell Bombardment I get, so that way it's available again at the end of the fight for when it gets hectic during the double Annihilation soaks, because I don't want to be kiting my Fell Bombardment everywhere. And then occasionally, and I don't believe I use it in this particular kill, but I will also use my Divine Shield in the same aspect at the end of the fight. So I can use my Blessing of Spell Warding twice, and I can use my Divine Shield once throughout the fight, therefore negating the entire effects of Fell Bombardment. Now you have to make sure that you use Fell Bombardment, that you use Divine Shield or Blessing of Spell Warding at the last second of the Fell Bombardment pre-tick, because it won't last the entire time if you decide to pop it early or when you immediately get the debuff. So just keep that in mind. Don't pop it early, otherwise you will die. Other than that, pretty simple fight. A great entry boss fight into Mythic, as everything ramps up in difficulty as you move on. Hopefully this helped you in terms of getting gear. I'm going to be pumping out a bunch of videos here now that I've finally got a desktop that can handle all of the rendering. And you guys have a great rest of the day. Enjoy your coffee. I'll catch you later.